Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Whitehall City Council meeting of May 3rd, 2022. If we could all please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tenny Bobs? Ms. Aug, would you please call roll?
Dixon.
Here.
Elmore.
Present.
Coniston.
Present.
Cantor.
Present.
Peck.
Present.
Smith.
Present.
Bailey.
Present.
President Potter.
Present. At this time, I will accept a motion for the approval of minutes for the April 19th, 2022 agenda and regular meeting minutes.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
There's been a motion by Ms. Coniston, seconded by Mr. Cantor. Any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Peck.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. This now brings us to our first poll public of the evening, and we'll invite anybody to come forward. And if you would please state your name, your address, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
All right, I guess it's me.
That's you.
Hi. So I sat in a wet seat, I'm right here, so I'm feeling really uncomfortable. So my name is Lisa Potterman. I live at 653 Maplewood Avenue. First of all, I'd really like to thank you for putting those little islands in our road. It seems to be helping to some degree, and I can't wait to see when it's all finished. That made us feel like we were listened to and that people were really trying to take care of us. I'd also like to address something that with this latest levy that was going to be passed. I really want to thank and recognize Jerry for stepping out and doing something extremely uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable, not only at the time, but in the words that were said thereafter. I think it's democracy. You know, somebody says this, somebody else says that, and people come together and make a better decision, or else make people think, and then they go out and vote. And that's the American way, and that's democracy. A lot of nasty things were said, and I just want to say thanks, Jerry, for, I guess, giving us another voice. That's why we elected you into this office, and I thank you for taking that brave step. That's all. Thank you all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, we will now move into our standing committee reports. Administration and Financial Management, Chairperson Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration and Financial Management met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we will meet again next Tuesday sometime after 6:30.
Very good, thank you. Community and Elder Advocacy, Chairperson Dixon.
Thank you, President Potter. Community and Elder Advocacy met last week. We have no legislation on the agenda this evening, and we will no doubt meet next week in this room around 6:30.
Very good, thank you. Community Standards and Enforcement, Chairperson Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Community Standards and Enforcement met last week. We have Ordinance 17-2022 on the agenda this evening. Our minutes are on file, and we will meet again next week.
Thank you. Economic Development, Chairperson Cantor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development last week, our minutes are on file. We'll meet again next week after 6:30.
Very good. Infrastructure, Maintenance and Services, Chairperson Coniston.
Thank you, President Potter. Infrastructure Maintenance and Services also met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we'll meet again next week.
Thank you. Public Safety, Chairperson Elmore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Safety met last week. Our minutes are on file. We do have Resolution 14 for title only on the agenda. We will meet again next week at 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you. And Parks and Recreation, Chairperson Heck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Parks and Recreation met last Tuesday. Our minutes are on file. We have one piece of legislation we are voting on tonight and first reading it. first reading, ordinance number 19-2022. We will meet next Tuesday.
Very good. Officials reports. Mayor Magner.
Good evening, everyone. I would just ask that council support Auditor Quincel's ordinances 18 and 19, support those 100%. You know, it can be a bit difficult when you have not budgeted for the expansion of youth sports, and that happened quite quickly this year. And so that's what this money is for, in order that we can make sure that we support the baseball and the soccer leagues and get more money into those accounts. So I appreciate it very much if you would support that legislation from Auditor Quincel. Thank you.
Thank you. City Administrator Woodruff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you. City Attorney Bivens.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council, and everyone that's here this evening. The City Attorney's Office prosecuted in the month of April 287 cases. 51 of those that were criminal non-traffic were committed by Whitehall residents. That's about 17%. And that's it from the City Attorney's Office.
And we thank you. City Auditor Quincel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to make you all aware, the auditors for the state are in this week, taking a look at records for 2021. So we've had a busy couple of days and probably some more busyness the rest of this week. And I would appreciate your consideration on ordinances 18 and 19. Thank you.
Thank you. Director of Public Safety, Greg, is not with us this evening. Treasurer Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. I thank everybody for joining us today. I do not have the official report. I would just ask for favorable consideration of ordinance 18 and 19, and echo the mayor and the auditor's comments. Thank you.
Thank you. The following officials' reports have been filed in the council office since the last meeting. That would include the mayor's report to council for March 2022, the auditor's expense report for March 2022, the auditor's bank report for March 2022, the auditor's statement of cash position report for March 2022, and the auditor's revenue report for March 2022. Under communications, petitions, and claims, we have one item. Notice from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control for a new D5 liquor permit for Tranquil Lady Inc. and patio at 4263 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio, 43213. Ms. Alm, would you please call roll on whether each member of council was given a copy of each item of legislation listed on the agenda prior to the meeting, including any add-on legislation?
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Thank you. Under third reading, we have one piece of legislation, which is Ordinance 11-2022, authorizing the adoption of the May 2022 replacement pages to the codified ordinances of the City of Whitehall.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 11-2022 and move for its adoption.
Second?
There's been a motion by Ms. Coniston, seconded by Mr. Dixon, to adopt Ordinance 11-2022. Is there any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Ordinance 11-2022 has been adopted. Under second reading, we have one item which will be read by title only this evening. Ordinance 13-2022, amending 161.11A and B, titled Legal Holidays of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio. Under first reading, we have several items. First one being Ordinance 17-2022, amending Appendix and Traffic Schedule 4 of the Traffic Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, entitled Parking Prohibited at All Times, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I would like to introduce ordinance 17-2022 and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Ms. Smith, second by Ms. Coniston, to introduce Ordinance 17-2022 and to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Mr. President, I move to adopt.
Second?
And motion to adopt by Ms. Smith, second by Ms. Coniston. Any discussion?
Mr. President, If I could, just for those here and watching that don't necessarily have legislation in front of them, what this does is create no parking zones on Maplewood in the right around the areas of the new traffic calming medians that the resident spoke about today, as well as correcting an error for no parking on Wright Avenue east of Yearling Road. And so this would add the parts of Maplewood and correct the error on Wright Avenue. And I just wanted to make sure people knew what we were amending here in this traffic schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woodruff. Any further discussion?
I would like to thank Mr. Woodruff for pointing that out to everyone. I think it's important.
Thank you.
Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Ordinance 17-2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 18-2022, repealing Ordinance 10-2022 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 18-2022 and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second.
There's been a motion by Ms. Heck, second by Mr. Cantor, to introduce Ordinance 18-2022 and suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Ms. Heck, second by Mr. Cantor. Any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Ordinance 18-2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 19-2022, authorizing and approving a fund transfer in the amount of $45,000 from unappropriated monies in the General Fund 101 to the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund 860, making a supplemental appropriation of $28,000 from unappropriated monies in the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund 860 to the Youth Baseball Expense Account 860.000.51,000 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 19-2022 and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second.
There's been a motion by Ms. Heck, second by Mr. Cantor, to introduce Ordinance 19-2022 and to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, if I may, just to make sure everybody is aware of what this piece of housekeeping legislation is intended to do. We had written originally Ordinance 10-2022, which you have just repealed. This is to replace it and make clear that the appropriation of $45,000 is to cover both baseball and soccer. We had legislation, a separate piece of legislation for soccer that was written for $17,000. That is not an additional $17,000 on top of this. So this is to clearly state that we have $28,000 that we're appropriating for baseball, $17,000 in the other piece of legislation is for soccer.
Very good. I appreciate the clarification on that. Any other discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Ms. Heck, second by Mr. Cantor. Any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Ordinance 19-2022 has been adopted. Our last piece of legislation this evening will be read by title only, and that is Resolution 14-2022, authorizing the mayor to place a prospective applicant for the position of dispatcher at a Step D in compliance with Section 17.2 of the current labor agreement by and between the City of Whitehall and the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council, and declaring an emergency. This now brings us to our second poll public, and the same rules will apply. If anybody wishes to come forward, please state your name, address. You'll have 3 minutes. Seeing nothing, I'll now move on to Community Date Board.
Book pickup tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
That's right, I've seen some piles.
Yeah.
already.
You got breakfast with Santa ready to go?
Yes.
Just skipping over the 4th of July.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We also have Sound the Alarm volunteers meet between 9 and 1, Saturday, May 21st. Help install smoke detectors and distribute educational materials.
Oh, very nice.
Market on the Green is around the corner, and they're looking for a lot of volunteers also.
Anything else from Community Date Board? Hearing nothing, we'll now move to Poll Council. Mr. Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all those on Facebook for tuning in and watching the proceedings. And of course, everyone here tonight, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much, Lisa, for your kind words. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Elmore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for those who have taken the time to watch on Facebook. Also, I would like to congratulate our council clerk, Julie Ogg. She earned recognition as an Athenian Fellow from the International Institute of Municipal Clerks Athenian Leadership Society. Most deserving. Congratulations to you. And you have 15 more minutes to vote if you haven't voted. So that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Coniston.
I would just like to thank everybody for coming and for viewing, and also I'd like to thank everybody for the congratulatory notes and messages for my twin grandbabies. We're so excited to have them here, and Mom, Dad, everybody home, and they're all happy and healthy, and it's what life is all about.
Very nice. Mr. Cantor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations, Karen.
Thank you.
Beautiful pictures. I'm glad Mother's doing well too, as well. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and watching on TV. I had the opportunity last Saturday to be at Whitehall Young High School for the dedication ceremony of the baseball field under Brian Hammer. I'd like to thank everybody that came. Much deserved. Brian was a good friend of mine. And it's a good honor that they gave him. He did a lot for that school, for the district, and I'm glad I was there. Also, I would like to wish all you mothers happy Mother's Day early. I hope you all have a real nice time. I know you'll be out on the boat with your wife, I'm sure, Mr. Stewart. So, happy Mother's Day to everybody that's watching. And also, Whitehall lost a really unbelievable man this past week, a longtime resident of the city, 20 years on Whitehall City Council, Mr. Roger Staley. Mr. Staley was my basketball and baseball coach for so many years. He was a very genuine and unique individual, and he'll be sadly missed. My thoughts and prayers to the Staley family for that as well. That's all I have. Hi, girls. Daddy loves you. I'll see you soon. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Ms. Heck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for everybody that's been at home. Thank you for those that came in. Thank you, Lisa, for getting up and speaking. It's not always easy. And congratulations to Julie. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everybody watching and those who are here in person. It's always great to see people continue to want to be involved. It's always fun going towards the end. Hopefully the sun comes out and it's here to stay. I got a little sunburnt over the weekend.
Are you gonna start singing?
Like Annie?
Oh my God, please.
Had to start, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
Here we go.
That's all. Thank
That's
you, Mr.
okay.
President.
Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's good to see you folks. Thanks for coming out, and congratulations, Julie. I'm not surprised. Karen, congratulations. That picture was awesome.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. I too would like to take this opportunity to recognize and congratulate Julie on her being inducted as an Athenian Fellow in the Athenian Leadership Society on April 6th. This was no small feat and required considerable work and effort to achieve. The course, as the course was quite extensive, as she shared with me. I'm especially proud of Julie as she identified and researched the Athenian Leadership Society on her own initiative and determined it was a valuable tool and resource that would allow her to enhance her growth and knowledge and base that would in turn benefit all that she works with. So I know I speak for all of us that wish you a hearty and well-earned congratulations.
Awesome.
I too would like to thank everybody for coming out this evening, and other than that,
Mr. President,
Second?
move to adjourn.
okay, that, motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Cantor to adjourn. Any discussion? Ms. Hawk, please call roll.
Dixon,
Yes?
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Peck,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
And we are adjourned at 7:20.